In the meantime, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Towson basketball. Victorious in the quarterfinals of the CAA Tournament in D.C. last night. Now they get ready for the semis tonight and another date with Delaware. Joining us now, the man who will be on the call for those games for CBS Sports Network. He is the former coach at Xavier in Providence and Virginia, CBS analyst. Mr. Pete Gillen is back with us here on GCR. Coach, it's Glenn and Paul. It's great to chat with you. Thank you for taking a couple of minutes for us.
Our pleasure, Glenn and Paul. Nice to be with you guys this morning.
It's good to chat with you, sir, and obviously we're really excited here as Towson's had this 3-decade-long drought for getting into the NCAA tournament. They're now 2 games away from getting there. When you look at what they've done and how dominant they've been, and I know that they struggled a little bit out of the chute yesterday, but they got that ship righted and they were fine. When you look at how dominant they've been, what, if anything, concerns you over the course of the next couple of nights related to Towson's chances?
Well, once again, it's a whole new season. And I saw the games last night. I had a game on the West Coast on Saturday. So I took a red eye and got back for the game. They played at 12 noon, as you know. And I think out of the gate, they were a little bit tentative. The uncharted territory for them being the number 1 seed in the tournament. So, but as you said, they righted the ship. I think they had a tremendous team. They've had a great season. But once again, it's a whole new season. They're playing a Delaware team tonight. As you know, they beat twice, but, Delaware played great last night. And, I think it's going to be a big challenge tonight. I think Towson can win, but they have to bring their A game. They didn't bring the A game yesterday at noon. The second half, they were terrific. The first half, they struggled. It was like Charles Dickens wrote A Tale of Two Cities, great English novelist. Well, that was A Tale of Two Halves. So they have to put 2 good halves together to continue to get to the finals.
Do you think that there's a burden of expectation right now that they're carrying it all, Coach, that as we allude to, this 30-plus year drought and knowing how excited everybody is, do you think that can become a burden when a couple of shots don't fall, that starts creeping in, that everybody is expecting you to accomplish something, and the team that you're going up against has no interest in participating in that?
That's a good question for sure. I don't think so. I think right now, they got the nerves out of their system, from the first half, as we mentioned, against Northeastern. But it's going to be a battle because Delaware is playing very well. They're focused. I guess that game, better than I, that was broken up because of the condensation on the court of Towson. So, and Delaware had the game in hand, and then all of a sudden Towson blitzed and played great. So I think this is going to be a really heavyweight fight. But I don't think the expectations are in our mind right now. I think you're getting ready for a real battle tonight with Delaware. I think Towson will be all right, but once again, they got to have all systems go, and that's a concern. That they got to get help. Timberlake and Holden need some help a little. Terry Nolan Jr. Whatever they need. They can't do it by themselves. Last night it was Timberlake. Yesterday was Timberlake and Holden were great, but they got to get a little more other guys on the team to contribute a little better.
He is Pete Gillen. He's with us again. Towson, Delaware, coming up tonight at 6 on CBS Sports Network. He will be on the call. Coach, the job that Pat Skerry has done, and not just this season, obviously it's been maybe his most exceptional team, but consistently. I know there have been a couple of downs thrown in there, and, obviously the entire world of college basketball was difficult a year ago, but he's consistently been able to win basketball games. Do you start to feel like he is approaching a point where maybe he's on the radar, deserving of a higher level job? I know his name's been thrown around a little bit with the UMass gig, of course, because he's from up that way. Do you start to get the sense that, especially if they would end up winning these next couple of games and get into the NCAA tournament, he could truly be on the radar to move up?
He should be on the radar. Pat Skerry's an outstanding coach, tremendous person. I've known him a long time. He's a great representative of Towson University. Hopefully he'll stay there for a long time, but they're lucky to have him. He does it the right way. He looks after the kids. He cares about people as well as student athletes.
Yep.
So he's done a great job. I mean, any place we're lucky to have him. Once again, you get all different types of situations with coaches, but he's a great representative of the coaching profession today. With integrity, morality, hard work. He really cares about the players. They play really, really hard for him because they know that Pat Skerry cares about them as people. So hopefully he'll stay at Towson a long time. But if you're a smart AD, he'd be a good guy to consider.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't mind him being overlooked around these parts. It would be all right by us if he continues to be overlooked.
Well,
but
hopefully he stays at Towson for a long time.
We had the same situation with Ryan Odom at UMBC where we were like, man, if people keep passing on him, that'd be great news. But inevitably, you just sort of get the feeling that, somebody is going to step in and realize what's going on there and throw a bunch of money at him. Coach, talking about coaching, obviously it's a big story locally, what's going on at Maryland. And if I could just get your perspective on how good of a job Maryland is right now. And I bring that up in the context of like, it's funny. You, of course, were at Providence. People bring up Ed Cooley's name. And I look at Ed Cooley and I'm like, man, he's got everything going for him. Why would Ed Cooley leave all of that in a place where he's beloved to come to a Maryland job that maybe could be a really good job, but it's been 20 years since it's been a really, really good job. What's your perspective of where Maryland is at this point, where they can be, and whether or not it's worth leaving a decent job? Andy Enfield at USC, Kevin Willard at Seton Hall for a job like Maryland's.
That's a great question. I think Maryland's a great job. Once again, banged heads with Gary Williams
a couple of times, yeah.
Virginia, and Gary's a great coach and a great person. We had some good battles, but I thought they were more honestly an ACC school rather than a Big Ten school. I still think it's a great job because you so much talent in the DC area, Baltimore area. I still think it's a great job. But once again, some of these coaches, Ed Cooley, I coached at Providence. He's, like you said, he's a king up there. He's from Providence area. He's getting tons of money. I'm sure he'll get more money if schools come after him. So what does he need? He doesn't need to do that. He doesn't need to prove anything. I don't know. I can't speak for what he'll do, but I can see him being very happy there. And the Enfield now might be another story. I don't know if he's a West Coast guy. I don't think so. So maybe he might have some interest.
He's actually from Pennsylvania and went to Johns Hopkins here locally.
Right, that's right. He went there, very good student. So, yeah, maybe once again, I can't speak for any of these coaches. I don't have no inside information, but he might have some more interest. And Kevin Willard, once again, Seton Hall, he's done a great job there, but maybe he's maxed out. Maybe he's done everything he could at Seton Hall. But so I don't know. Each coach is different. Their opinion's different. Their life's different. So they have to make their own decisions. But I think, getting to your question, I think Maryland is a great job because of the talent in the area, the tradition, the facilities. I think it's a top 15 job in the country for sure.
So is it safe to say that you believe Maryland is a place where they should be able to get, if they hire the right coach, they should be able to get back into the conversation of having a chance to win a national championship?
Definitely, no question about it. If they hire the right coach, which I'm sure they will, a coach that can recruit certainly, and coach at a high level, deal with the pressure of coaching in the ACC, in the Big Ten now, with the great fanfare they have in that league. So I think so. I think they can get back in the national title hunt. Will they win or not? Once again, it's very tough to do, but I think they can, and mainly because the facilities, the tradition, the great talent around, the Baltimore, D.C. area. I think in the league's a great league, so you sell the league. So I think, with the right coach, they certainly can be in the national spotlight.
Do you think it matters that it's someone that knows the area, Coach? It's something that we throw out all the time, like, hey, it's important that they went a different route, right? Mark Turgeon had no connection to this area whatsoever. Do you think that is it a cliche when we throw that out there, like, hey, that matters, this place is unique, or is it really that, hey, if you're a good coach, it really doesn't matter, you're going to make it work wherever it is that you are?
If you get the right coach, I think it certainly helps when you're from that area, you know the area. But I think that a coach like that will maybe hire two good assistants who knows the Baltimore, D.C. area. He knows the area there. So I don't think I think it's a plus if he knows the area, knows the different coaches in the area, et cetera. But I don't think it's a game changer. If you get the right guy, if you get a super coach, I think he could come in and do great there. But he'd have to hire the right assistants a couple of assistants that know the Baltimore, D.C. area. As we look around the landscape of college basketball, Coach, we are just we're 6 days away from Selection Sunday. If I said I'll give you this number of teams, and you can guarantee that you know who the national champion is, if I give you this X number of teams, right, to pick, what would the number need to be for you to be confident that you know who the national champion is this year? It's another great question. I say a big number because I think it's really wide open. I say 14.
Okay.
I think teams, nobody stayed on the pedestal. Gonzaga could win it. They got 3 losses.
Yep.
And, Auburn could win it, right? They have 3 or 4 losses or 5 losses. So I think it's more wide open than I can think of in a long, long time. I mean, some teams can come out, out of the woodwork and win it. I mean, so I think it's the unknown, and I think that's what makes it exciting. Anything can happen. Teams it's like a roller coaster. So this teams, Duke, of course, got a great team. They're young, but they got a great team. Providence, you mentioned, Villanova, of course, they're terrific. So I think it's really anything can happen. There's a lot of great teams: Illinois, Purdue, UCLA. I did a Arkansas game recently. They had a great team. They got a chance. Kentucky is tremendous. They got a great team. So I think it's wide open. I would say if I randomly, I would pick 14 because I think it's really going to be an exciting tournament and really wide open.
And it gives you all three your top 3 seeds in each region and a couple of the 4 seeds as well that you would say have chances. And then if I could wrap with this, because you just brought up Duke. Obviously, we all know what happened on Saturday night, but I had this sort of running through my mind in the aftermath of watching that, which is, Coach, what is Duke basketball post Mike Krzyzewski? Like when John Shire takes over next year, is Duke basketball just Duke basketball now? Like that's just who they are. They're that type of brand. They just matter at that level. It's irrelevant who the coach is. Duke basketball is an entity that goes beyond anything. Or is there a chance that maybe Duke is more like Indiana once upon a time, right? Where Indiana basketball was the world when Bob Knight was the coach. But after Bob Knight was the coach, they were just kind of another program for a while. And really, frankly, still to this day. Like, what's your gut tell you about Duke basketball post Mike Krzyzewski?
Well, I still think it'll be very, very good, but it can't reach the levels. I mean, he arguably was the greatest coach ever. I'd probably say John Wooden, but an eyelash behind him would be Mike Krzyzewski, right, with 5 national titles, 6, whatever he has. I think it's 5. But, he's maybe 6, I don't even know. But he's won so much that it has to drop off a little bit. But still, ACC is certainly a great conference. Duke's a great academic school and great tradition. So they'll still be up there, very, very good. But I once again, replacing a legend is very, very difficult. UCLA has never really topped that again, right?
Right.
John Wooden retired.
Yep.
His 11 national titles. Nobody's, Jim Herrick won it once, and people have been up there, but it's Larry Brown got close, but it's tough to do it again. So I don't think it'll approach the greatness that Duke had, but I still think they'll be very, very good. Be competitive. I think Shire will do an excellent job, but Mike was an unbelievable coach, and he coached him off the court, on the court. He had great experience and tremendous assistant. So I think they'll be very, very good, but I don't think they'll be up in the top echelon like they are right now.
He is Pete Gillen. Again, tonight, 6 o'clock, Towson and Delaware on CBS Sports Network in the CAA semifinals. And if they win tonight, tomorrow night, the championship game. And the championship game is going to happen whether they win or not, but we'll, of course, be far more invested if they do win. That's tomorrow night, 7 o'clock as well on CBS Sports Network. Coach, is there anything else we can plug for you, sir?
No, it was a lot of fun. I'm just got to go back to my cave here and try to study, get ready for these games, and prepare as best I can. And it should be a lot of fun. It should be a great evening.
Enjoy your time down in D.C. Thank you so much for taking the time for us this morning, Coach.
Thanks for having me on the show. Thank you for having me on. All right, bye-bye.
Coach Pete Gillen joining us here on GCR as he gets ready for the CAA tournament tonight and tomorrow night on CBS Sports Network.